Hello guys and welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to talk about Beastmaster Hunters and how to play them in PvE. So first of all, we're going through the stats, we're going through the talents, we're going through the pets, the rotation, and that should be pretty much everything. So stats, talents, rotation and pets. So let's go through it and just directly jump into it. So the first thing would be your stats. So for the stats, it's very important first of all that your main stat is going to be haste. So haste is the one that you want to focus on over anything because it increases your attack speed and your focus regeneration. After that, it's critical strike, and it's, well, your pet and you have very much direct damage. That means crit in this case is very nice and very good. You're not, you can say, affected to damage your time very much. You have much directly output damage. So first of all, it's haste, crit. Then after crit, it's mastery. As you can see, I already now have plenty much mastery, even though I don't have any items that give much mastery. But mastery is just a common stat for, you can say, Beastmaster, so it's fine, and it increases the damage of your pet, but you still also want to increase the damage you're dealing, so that's why mastery will be on number 3. Vitality is going to be the last one, as it overall increases the damage and healing, but crit, haste and mastery is much more important than vitality. So again, haste, crit, mastery and vitality. So of course agility is your main stat, so that's of course, you can say, your main stat. So of course, if you can get agility, it will be the preferable one. So if you get a trinket where you can choose between crit or agility, agility will be of course the number 1, because it's so much important main stat in this expansion. So you could say it's agility, haste, crit, mastery and vitality. Boom. So that's the stats. Let's go through the talents. So the talents in here would be the first one. Killer Instinct is pretty much the preferred one in any situation. Animal Companion is not really preferred, it's dealing a lot, or you can say decreased damage, it's not going to help you very much. Dire Beast can be an option you also can use, but if you like to just have a passive one, Killer Instinct is the one that deals most damage in single targets. And Dire Beast require another cooldown, another global cooldown, you have to use another spell. So Killer Instinct will be the one that I would say 100% always preferred one, as it deals normally extra damage to you. If you're not really able to use Killer Instinct because of somehow, Dire Beast will of course be the one that is preferred, but standard Killer Instinct will be the next one. So down here, Chimera Shot will be the main one you would use for any situation. It deals both good damage in single target and on multiple targets. One with the pack is not really recommended, as we're not going to be spamming Barbed Shot all the time as a explosive shot on you can see like that. So it's not worth at all, and Scent of Blood is not worth at all because Beastmasters doesn't lack energy. We have full energy all the time almost, so it doesn't make sense to take these two. Chimera Shot is a perfect one. It deals a lot of damage and it also generates focus, so what's not to like? The next one down here is really up to you. It's nothing will help you in the damage. I like Camouflage because it's healing me full when I'm close to dying. Natural Mending will probably be the one that people say would be best on a raid boss, because every time you use focus it reduces the cooldown on your healing spell Acceleration that heals 30% of your health. And Trailblade, your movement speed is increased by 30 anytime you have not been attacked. Anytime you have not attacked for 3 seconds. No, because you're attacking all the time in the dungeon. So Camouflage and Natural Mending will probably be the preferred one. I would personally say Camouflage because I like it, but Natural Mending is the only one that works in combat, as Camouflage, as you can see down in the bottom here now, if I go into combat I cannot use it, and it doesn't have any good for me in a fight. So yeah, so Natural Mending is probably the one you would take for raid and dungeons, but I like Camouflage. The next one down here, a Murder's Crow, should be your default choice. It's the one that deals most damage, like Killer Instinct, Chimera Shot, Murder's Crow. They are the preferred one, dealing most damage. Venom's Bite is not, and Thrill of the Hunt. Both of these is not preferred at all. You can look it up. No one wants to play with these two. A Murderous Crow is just the meta here. The next one down here is again only utilities. It's up to you if you want to have additional stun, but it only works if they actually move. Or you can say every time you disengage you get some speed here. Or Born to be Wild, reduce cooldown for your aspect of Cheetah or aspect of Turtle. Again, it's up to you, it doesn't help your damage. The next one down here, Stomp, is the one that is 100% dealing most damage in single target and AoE. Barrage is only good if you have like +5 targets, but I mean, how often is it that you actually meet 5 targets? And Stampede is only good if you are using it as a cooldown on AoE, but again, it has a 3-minute cooldown and Stomp works all the time, and it also deals a lot of damage over AoE, so no. So I would say Barrage, Stampede, throw them out. Stomp will be the meta one for you. The next one down here, we actually have 2 talents that can work. So Aspect of the Beast is dealing most damage on AoE, and you can say on single target it's dealing 90% damage. Killer Cobra is then 100% on single target, so it's really good on single target as well. Bestial Wrath is active, Cobra Shot resets the cooldown on kill command. So on pure single target it's good, but it's only good in the meantime you actually have Bestial Wrath on you. An Aspect of the Beast is increasing your pet's abilities, damage of your pet's abilities by 30 all the time passive, and also the effect you get. For example, my pet right now gives me 5% more maximum health. I could also use another pet that gives me another bonus. It will be increased by 50%, the bonus that it gets. It's called endurance training, endurance, yes. So, but if you also ask on the web, you can look up on different websites, they will actually also say they would prefer to use Aspect of the Beast as it is passive. You don't have to think about Killer Cobra. So every time you use Bestial Wrath, you would have to all the time use your Cobra Shot, Kill Command, Cobra Shot, Kill Command. I know it's a cool burst you get on those, how long is it? 12 seconds. But Aspect of the Beast is just a passive that helps you in all situations. So I would say go with Aspect of the Beast. I would 100% do it. But if you really want that little burst window with Killer Cobra, go ahead. It's up to you. It will also change your rotation of your spells, you can say the priority, but I prefer Aspect of the Beast. So, now about the pets. So the pets is... So in Battle for Azeroth, a lot of people haven't really understood this, but in Battle for Azeroth, all the pets deals exactly the same damage. Even if it's Ferocity, Tenacity or Cunning. The only difference is those 2 spells here. That's the only difference at all. So Ferocity has, you can see here, it has 15% leech. If, of course, if you have the talent here, so it's increased by 50. It has 50% leech, and Primal Rage is your, you can say your Bloodlust. So if you don't have a Shaman in your group, I would say go with Ferocity in your dungeon because you want that extra Bloodlust. If you have a Mage, Shaman, so you have a Bloodlust, go with Tenacity because it increases your health by 70%, and that's a lot. And also it has this reduce all damage you and your pet takes by 20. So if you're going for a raid or mythic dungeon where you take hard damage, you have more health for healing, helping the healers to actually hold you up because you have more health pool, and also you have your little cooldown here that reduces the damage, so it being kind of tanky. So Tenacity will be the one I would say, use it for dungeons, use it for mythics. But if you don't have a mage or shaman who can use Bloodlust, use Ferocity. Cunning is pure, I'll say PvP, because it increases your movement speed and it gives you this little half PvP trinket that remove all your root movement impairing effects. And grant you immunity for them for 4 seconds. It doesn't remove stun, it will, but if someone frees you on the ground so you cannot move, it will remove it. So it will be pure PvP Cunning. Tenacity will be the default one for PvE, but if you don't have a Shaman or Mage, go with Ferocity. But the damage on them all will be exactly the same. So that's how you find pets. Example, a bear is, you can say, a Tenacity, and if I summon my Raptor, it will be Ferocity. Yep. So that was the stats talents, pets. Let's now go to rotations. Okay, so the first thing is that Beastmaster isn't really that hard to master. It's just about, you have to think about your spells. So first of all, before you begin to throw your spells, you have to get your pit over there. So the first thing I would say, always when you open up with a damage, use kill command, because kill command will send your pit over to the enemy and it will begin to attack it. So let's get, crap. Yeah, let me just get up here. This one is a bit more, it's more direct damage. Okay, so kill command will be one. I would always say use that one to actually start the fight, because you want to have your pit over there when you start the fight, because when you use Barbed Shot, Stomp will activate a damage, you can say AoE damage that causes 2300 damage, and if you use it where the pit is wrong or you're very far away, it will kind of use it in just an unknown space and no one will get extra damage of it. So always on your encounter use kill command. The next after that will be use Barbed Shot. So the important thing with Barbed Shot is that you can see I have my buff here that tells me that my pit is increased by, my pit attack speed is increased by 30. Your most important role here is to hold one stack up all the time. So don't use all your stacks ASAP like this. So now I use all the stacks and now my pit has 90% increased attack speed. That's wrong how you play it, because now when it goes off, I don't have it ready yet and I need to wait for it to become ready, and now I can use it. The best thing you can do with Barbed Shot is only have one stack, wait for it to like 2 seconds so it's finished, and you can say it renews. So if I could get another stack, I could show you exactly how it is. Okay, so you can see now I use Barbed Shot, and now you can see it does a bleeding on the enemy, and just 2 seconds before you can say it stops, use it again. Now it's up on 2 stacks, and when there's 2 seconds back again, use it again, and now I have 3 stacks. And if you're so lucky that you have another stack again, use it again when 2 seconds back. And this is how your rotation will deal most damage at all. It will be most important if you can kind of hold up. So now you can see I have 5 seconds back, 7 on the cooldown, so that means now I will run out and I have to build up again. So this is the only hard thing when you play Beastmaster, that you have to kind of hold this rotation up with Barbed Shot, that you need to try to keep up your stacks all the time. But don't use 3 stacks at one time, use 1 at a time so it releases, because else you will waste the bleeding and you will waste the buff on your pit. So Beastmaster is also a little bit random spec, because you have Wild Call. Every time you auto shot, critical strikes have a 20% chance to reset the cooldown of Barbed Shot. So that's why sometimes when you use Barbed Shot, it will reset by you can say your auto attack, and then you can use it again, because now you can see I can use it again. So now if we wait 2 seconds, there we go. Now it's on 7 seconds, but I have a cooldown that says 10 seconds. That means now it will go off. But if I had Wild Call proc, I would be able to use it again and keep up the 3 stacks. So this is the most important reputation. You can say, first of all, when you open up, use kill command, so your pit go over there and attacking, and keep up your Barbed Shot rotation all the time. And don't use them all 2 or 3 stacks at one. Wait before it's 2 seconds off, and use it again. After that, it's actually, so while you're focusing on holding this up, it's very important for you to use kill command, Chimera Shot all the time when you can, and spam Cobra Shot every time you're able to it. So again, just to sum it up, Barbed Shot, hold it up, don't use all your stacks on one time. Every time there's 2 seconds back on it, use it again. And while you're kind of holding that rotation up, use kill command, Chimera Shot all the time, Barbed Shot again, use Cobra Shot, and every time you use Cobra Shot you're reducing the cooldown by 1 second on kill command. And just kind of those 4 spells, hold them all the time. If you're talented at Murderous Crow, that I'm also recommending, just hold that up. It's another debuff, So while you're holding that up, you also have the Barbed Shot, Kill Command, Chimera Shot, Cobra Shot, Barbed Shot, Cobra Shot, Kill Command. So you can see basically is Kill Command and Chimera Shot, just use them all the time you can, but on the same time have your Barbed Shot rotation running all the time. Barbed Shot rotation is the most important for you to keep up your damage as number one. And Cobra Shot is only for when, nothing else to do, and it also reduces the cooldown of Kill Command, so you can pretty much use Kill Command all the time. So if you can manage that with holding up Barbed Shot all the time and using Kill Command and Chimera Shot every time it's ready, and using Cobra Shot when it's not anything else to do, and keep up your Murder Crow. I know it's a lot of things you have to administer, but it's still not, you can say more, but it's still not harder than playing Affliction Warlock. It's not that much you have to. Also, you have your cooldowns. Aspect of the Wild is giving you focus all the time, 5 focus every second, but your spec doesn't really need focus that much. You kind of always have enough energy to play. So it gives me 5 focus all the time, but it also increased my critical strike. That means Wild Call is also having a higher chance for proc. Beside that, you have Bestial Wrath that is increasing your damage and your pet's damage by 25%, and your pet will be huge. And this Bestial Wrath is actually a very low cooldown, 1.5 minutes, sorry. And every time you use Barbed Shot, you're removing, isn't it 10 seconds? I think you're removing. Bestial Wrath remaining cooldown is reduced by 12 seconds each time you use Barbed Shot. So you can see 12 seconds off, 12 seconds off, and now it's down on 30 seconds. And if you get a Wild Call proc all the time, you pretty much have Bestial Wrath on you all the time. If someone uses Bloodlust and you have a lot of haste, well, haste is also reducing the cooldown of Barbed Shot. That's also why haste is your most important, you can say, stats. So it's kind of helping you. So you can see, now I use Bestial Wrath, use Barbed Shot, and it's already down on 1 minute cooldown, basically. And again, so you can see now it's only less than 1 minute cooldown. It's really insane how much you can use Bestial Wrath if you have procs with Barbed Shot. So that was the rotation for single targets. If you're playing against a lot of targets, like let's say we have a lot of targets here, then instead of using Cobra Shot, I would use multi-shot, because your multi-shot is giving your pet a beast cleave. That means every time you're dealing damage, every time the pet deals damage, it will also attack everyone around it. But you have to kind of hold it up. So try hold it up, use, and I know I said before you should use your Barbed Shot for the rotation, but now it's very important to use Barbed Shot all the time, because every time you use Barbed Shot, it stomps in the ground and deals damage to everyone. So while you're clearing a big group of enemies, spam Barbed Shot all the time, because you want that stomp to deal damage. So yes, on multiple targets, use Barbed Shot all the time. On one boss, or you can say a beast cleave boss, where it's only 2 targets, still hold up the rotation on it. But if you have like 3-5 mobs here, use Barbed Shot all the time to get that stomp down, because trash mobs normally die fast and you want to be top 1 damaging. So my rotation here would be use multi-shot to get beast cleave on, use Barbed Shot, use Chimera Shot because it hits 2 targets, and kind of those 3 spells I will try to hold up. You could also use Kill Command in there and Murder's Crow, but I will never use Cobra Shot. I'll kind of hold up these abilities. So you could say basically the only thing that will change when a lot of mobs is that you spam Barbed Shot and you replace multi-shot with Cobra Shot. So I don't really want to talk about all the utilities you have as Hunter. I mean, you pretty much have a bubble and you have a stun with your pet and a freeze trap, but that's basically Hunter things, so I think you understand those and you interrupt. So you should be handled that. I just want to show you how to play Beast Mastery and be number 1 as damage. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little guide, and well, leave down a comment if you have any questions or any remarks about this video that you are thinking about. So else I can just say thank you guys for watching and have a great evening.